enamorarse de la persona, no del sexo, ni del género,
claro,
ni nada.
Es lo mismo.
Porque al final es todo la persona, los valores internos de cada persona, ¿no?
Sí,
Eso es lo que te enamoras.
Claro. Por algunas personas es así. Sí.
Para mí es así, para otra persona.
Sí, yo descubrí hace poco que es para mí también, sí.
¿Descubriste que eres...?
Sí, estaba en terapia y me dijo, como descubrimos algo,
¿Sí?
y me dijo, pues, creo que eres demisexual, que es como te enamoras de la persona y de la personalidad.
Hold on, but isn't that pansexual?
Pansexual is like you like everyone.
You like everything.
It
a little bit.
matter.
Okay.
But I think demisexual is more about the person himself or herself. I've decided recently that I just don't want to call myself anything.
Anything. Yeah. Okay, listen.
I like what I like.
You know what?
It's
Mira,
fine.
you know what? Let's forget about slang. Let's go into the nitty-gritty here.
Okay,
¿no?
nice.
Vamos a gender fluid. Eso es una que es que tú vas variando, ¿no? Vas variando dependiendo del momento de tu vida, ¿no?
Mm-hmm.
You keep changing depending on whatever moment you're in your life and depending on the person, ¿no? Your people you're around.
I think
¿no?
it's more like what you feel, not the person you're attracted to.
Okay.
I think that's the difference between gender and sexuality, because gender is how you identify yourself and sexuality is who attracts you. Because like if we think of Caitlyn Jenner,
Caitlyn, yeah.
So she is a woman, but she's still attracted to women. She was a he before, so like her identity, her sexual identity, her gender identity is that she's a woman. She feels like a woman, so she's a trans woman. But her sexuality is heterosexual.
Yeah, sure. You gotta. There's a difference in those two things.
Yeah, it's really confusing. That's all I know about it.
No. Yeah, that's key. That's I think the most complicated thing for people to grasp. It's the difference between who you feel attracted to and what you physiologically
exactly,
are
because we live in a heteronormative world, so we only relate girl. If you're a girl, you should like a guy. If you're a guy, you should like a girl.
Claro. Yo creo que por eso viene todo el tema de la polémica con todo esto. Anatomical sex, cisgender, transgender, cishet, non-binary, intersex, genderqueer. Entonces, es como hay una lista entera de non-conforming. Like, for example, like I never heard of that. Non-conforming. Non-conforming, I think it's like, como creo que es como algo así como that you don't conform with whatever sex you're given at birth. Para la gente que tiene esos sentimientos y esa forma de entender el sexo y la atracción sexual, pues supongo que es importante ponerle un nombre a eso, ¿no? Sí. How did you figure it out? So you talked to your therapist about it?
Yeah, I recently I've gone to therapy a few times now, and we just discovered, because I need this connection with someone to be able to do any activity, sexual activity with them. So I need to be connected to that person. Like I can't just like go on a one night stand, for example.
Yeah.
So,
okay, hold on. But that doesn't have anything to do with gender orientation, right?
It has nothing to do with gender, but it has to do with sexuality, because it's who I'm attracted to, not who I feel. Okay. Like I think my gender is cis woman, because I was born a woman and I feel like a woman. Okay. And I don't want to change my gender at all. But then I'm attracted to girls and sometimes boys.
Sure. Because it depends on exactly what you were talking about last week. Those things that person has to offer. Exactly. That's what you fall in love with. You don't fall in love with the sex of that other person or anything like that.
Not what they have down there, or not anything, So it's
but of course, you do feel a physical attraction towards.
Of course, yeah.
But when it comes down to physical stuff, people would go, okay, if you are attracted physically to a man and a woman, then it means you're bisexual. That's it. There's nothing else.
But there is.
To dig in, yeah. That's what people. I'm trying to get into the shoes of those people that don't understand, everything about this.
But then there's pansexual, and then I don't really know anything about that, so I'm not gonna speak.
Claro.
I think at some point, whether you belong or not, like to the LGBTQ plus community, you can be in the shoes of the person who will not understand the other person. Yeah. Because I have no idea what's going on, so most of the time I'm just like rolling with all those sexualities, people who I just
Yeah.
They tell me something, take it, okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, one thing that you brought up that I think is worth looking at is labeling. Because I agree that this whole labeling thing is getting out of hand. It's
That's
too much.
why-
Es
that's why
demasiado.
I'm like, what am I? Am I bi? Am I?
Porque yo creo que como el sistema, the whole system, wants to, I think, put too much importance on naming, on the
Yeah.
naming scheme.
And I've read recently that us as human beings, we like to label, we like to name things.
I think that has to do with the will to organize reality, because that's another topic, is because you want to have control. Control gives you a peace of mind. Porque tú quieres controlar todo,
Claro.
¿no? People want to control their surroundings. Tú te sientes más seguro.
Sí.
Entonces al final...
Pero también hay problema cuando tú no sabes qué label coger, ¿sabes?
Claro.
Entonces es otro problema.
You feel lost.
You feel lost.
In that sense.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah, because like if there isn't a word for you in the dictionary, then what the fuck is going on?
there's
here?
like two sides to it. It's like it gives you seguridad,
Seguridad.
or it gives you're lost.
La gente dice, no, con lo que seas, naciste con ello. So whatever you feel, that's what you
We're
probably
born with,
felt
yeah.
like from the very beginning. ¿Qué opinas tú de eso, Marie? ¿Tú crees que tu orientación sexual se define en el nacimiento o piensas que se desarrolla más tarde en la vida?
As for me, maybe it's always been there. I have no idea. I realized it later, and when I was younger, it really didn't occur to me that there could be some other possibilities, that there could be something. Obviously, I
that's the
knew
thing.
there were other possibilities. I knew you could be attracted to women, you could be attracted to men, you could be both. Like there was all that, but my parents don't really care. But I still grew up with the whole like princess.
Yeah.
You're a boy. You get with
Okay,
a girl.
okay.
You get with a girl, you get
I'm
with
the
a
same. I'm the
so-
same.
You get into
like-
the whole Disney thing.
Yeah,
thing, no?
and the thing is that I had always felt attraction towards like the opposite gender
Mhm.
until I met my girlfriend, which was like almost 3 years ago, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So as for me, I have no idea if I was like born like that, if I just, or if it came later, or if it's just, I have no idea, and I think. Because I realized a little before meeting my girlfriend, actually, like, because I read a book one day and it was like
I read a book one day. And
I had like a revelation. No, it's a book about that girl who like writes a blog to get over her breakup with her boyfriend, and she meets a girl, and then she starts like getting feelings for that girl, so she talks about it in her blog,
Wow.
and she doesn't get it because she's like, I've always been attracted to men, and now there's this girl, so what do I do? What's going on? And actually, it's a French book, and there was a whole entire polemic about that, because in the end, she just decides to not label herself, and she decides to not really think about it, and just like, I'm in love, then I'll go for it. And what I've seen in the reviews of that book that I loved, because then I was like, wait, maybe I might feel like that a little bit too, because I don't.
And what age did you read the book at?
I think it was 16,
Okay.
maybe 15, 16.
Okay.
So like at the end she just says like, I'm sexually attracted to that particular person, and that's it. And so people called that book homophobic for not saying that. They were like, yeah, the author doesn't want to say that she's bi or that she's lesbian, or that
But
she's
she was
whatever.
also confused at the time.
And
So.
that's really not what I got from the book.
What's
So-
the title?
I swallowed a rainbow.
I swallowed a
Me
swallowed a
encanta.
rainbow. Vale.
Yeah,
Me tragué
it's a
un
French book,
arcoíris,
so
¿no?
you might not find it in English.
Aquí lo tenéis, ¿vale?
The vocabulary that's used is really accessible.